We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is, from the General's Hot Sauce, it is Danger Close. It is the last of the Heatseeker box, and for my money, the best of the lot. I really dislike these caps. And you know, I don't understand this dog tag thing, right? So the Blair's came with a bunch of skull keychain things. I have a lot of those, and that's kind of neat to collect those. You get kind of a headhunter vibe where you can see the cap isn't on. These caps are not great. The molding I don't think works for this kind of torque. But what are you going to do with these? With a bunch of these dog tags? I mean, they're not. This part is okay, but I mean, do you want this on your keys? 86% peppers. I mean, is that like some American Girl? Is somebody gonna be doing that? I don't understand that. Like, they would have been better off, you know, putting like a plastic pin or something like that in there if they were gonna do that, or somehow making it so that you could have a plastic pin type thing where maybe you could use it as a squeeze thing to pour sauce out or something like that. I mean, I think they could have done more with that than just this novelty cap business. So anyway, we've got in here the cayenne and habanero, white vinegar, salt and garlic. So this is pretty much just, as far as I can see, a combination of the dead red, which is a straight cayenne sauce, and the shock and awe, which is the habanero. And of course, there's videos for both of those if you want to check those out. And the written review for this one is in the description below if you want to see that. So this one looks more or less like the Danger Close, though. So I think they really, I would say they emphasize that a little bit more so, which is definitely what they should have done from a flavor perspective, to be sure. But there's enough punch to it. It actually is hotter than the shock and awe, which is really kind of interesting to me. You can see it just, you know what's weird is that whatever cap they're using on this, you can see it's getting caught in the threads, right? The gimmicky nature of this just, I don't know, a little bit frustrating. You can see it's much thicker than like a cayenne or a Louisiana style would be. Very, very lovely color though. It's just, it's not quite as red as the dead red is, of course. It's got tinges of orange, which I'm assuming is probably the habanero. It definitely smells much more like the dead red though. I can actually get some of the waves of garlic off of this as well. Flows nice, sticks pretty well. You can see it does like to get a little bit trapped up here though again with this. This is just it's an interesting approach for the sauces, I think. I'm not the right audience. I don't think it works especially well for me, but all right, the last in line, let's get on into it. By itself, there is definitely some strong notes of that funky aftertaste. The burn is very immediate. With this one, there's sort of an after effect flavor that reminds me a little bit of almost like a tomato sauce, but it definitely is more towards the dead red side of things. which is good because I didn't like the flavor particularly of the shock and awe at all. So you can see I've burned through about half of this so far. I mean, I'll finish this out. It's not a sauce I'm particularly enjoying, but once I'm out of this, I'm gonna have to go shop for cayenne sauce again. So I'm gonna use this out because it's the last cayenne sauce I actually have right now. As I write this, and you can kind of go through the quarterly updates where I talk about this a little bit, but right now I think I've got 14 sauces on deck, which is the lowest number it's been in a really, really long time for me. But none of those is a cayenne style of all the ones I have. So, and this one is a bit, it's more Cajun, but I mean, this one isn't, it's not horrible. I just find a lot of, just some of the stuff I guess find bothersome. And the flavor to me is not, it's better than the other two, but that's comparing it just to those. If you compare it to the sauces at large, it fades a bit. So, all right. I tried to pick a slam dunk for this, and that is the Devour white cheddar and bacon macaroni and cheese. We've seen it before. It's one that, to me, it's really, really rich. It's like overly rich, I would say, in fact. But it's a very sure thing. So, as far as instant microwave macaroni and cheeses go, this one for me is, it's overly rich for me, but it also is pretty solid. I just don't eat it all that often because it is also probably not particularly healthy. So let's hit this up a little bit. I didn't try the Dead Red or this one in this application, so I'm really curious to see as to where this is going to go. This has probably been the application where the sauce has been best so far. I did make a sort of a chicken sweet potato hot dish. It was excellent on that as well. Comparatively. I did find myself missing the usual Louisiana style. I feel like the company beats on some of those vinegar forward sauces for being what they are. But I like the vinegar forward sauces, a lot of those. When you've got these really rich, heavy, creamy sauces, that in fact is what I'm looking for. This one's not bad, but it doesn't have a lot of that characteristic. So I don't, as part of the other, well, a couple things about this. I don't understand where they're going with these sauces. I really find them kind of confusing. Even though this one has come out the best so far, I'm still a bit puzzled by it. The second thing is I think I kept getting these guys at 13 stars confused. They have a similar, I guess, sort of approach. and motif. "13 Stars," I'm assuming, was the original colonies. And I believe I'm going to try to track some of that down as well. They're getting a lot of attention also. In the same sort of vein, so. I need to look into them a little bit. As you guys have seen from the blog, I like to be a little judicious as to what I support or have with these reviews. So, alright, let's bring this to a close here. There, it's close. So, it was fine in that application. I would have preferred something different. There's a flavor that I like to have, and it wasn't there. But I mean, as far as that goes, this does okay on creamy. I've got a really pleasant feel in my mouth right now. It's a nice warm little punch there, so that part as well. I think that whatever garlic they're using, and I'm pretty sure it's a concentrate, I think that adds to the off flavor of this thing. And it could be part of the process as well. But to me, it's still an off flavor now. It's less noticeable with this particular sauce and with the shock and awe, which is probably why it's less noticeable with this as well. But it is still present, and when I hit it, it's kind of like the flavor of regret, I guess, if that makes sense. When you eat something and you're getting into it and you're like, I wish I would have went a different direction. It's kind of like what I run across with this one. But, like I said, this is definitely the best of the lot. I'm enjoying this one a lot more than I did the other two. And I'll finish this out, but I don't see a time when I'm going to be interested in, dealing with this floppy dog tag nonsense here with the handle. Like, if the gimmicky stuff is an inconvenience and it's a nuisance, I think we can do away with it. I mean, I realize everyone's trying to differentiate themselves and everything, but there's some steps that are too far, and this is one of them for me. But I mean, the sauce itself is just not. It's not hitting the notes with me particularly well. Obviously, there's a lot of. I mean, it's a very well blended sauce. They certainly took their time and some care in constructing it, but it's just not one that any of the three that I've had, the Heat Seeker pack, are the ones working for me. So, but there it is, the General's Hot Sauce Danger Close. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.